what's up? We're juicing again. I can't stop juicing. Hey, what's going on? I was trying to edit something, but screw it. Whatever. How we doing? We're making more juice again. I am actually playing a song. It's just really low. I'm kind of like afraid of the copyright thing. I played something last week and the entire video got taken down because of it. I was like, what the hell? I mean, it's still up, but like I don't get like anything out of it basically. Like normally you can get like revenue just from, you know, like having a live period. Hey, what's up? How we doing? I'm just making some juice here, making some super juice. This is part of the first step of the process, which is peeling all of my limes, which I have a lot of, so. Pick a car for an edit? A car? I don't know, like a Carrera. I don't know. I work at a bar. You know, I don't really care about the copyright thing. I'm just gonna play this song. I don't even know if you can hear it, but... Good, how are you? Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Sorry, one sec.
I'm great. Sorry, I'm delivery. Okay, everything is finished. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Sorry, I just got a delivery and like some guy came in. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Some guy just came in and was like doing the delivery, and I was like, what the hell? Who is this? I thought it was my coworker for a second. What color? I think the classic, that blue silver color always looked the best on a Carrera for me, you know? I actually had a poster as a kid of a Porsche, and it was like the only car that I ever like actually was lightweight in love with. I don't really care for cars, I'm not much of a car person. But the Carrera was like kind of my dream car in a way. I'm gonna try and do all these lines in less than 45 minutes. Because I do want to just get this out of here, you know what I mean? What is this? Thank you. I appreciate that. Girl power indeed. No way. Are you serious? That's so wild. That's like the only car I've actually ever cared about. Like if I got a bunch of money, like if I like won the lottery or something, I wouldn't be the type that would just buy like 400 different cars. I would just buy the one nice car and like, you know, maybe like invest the rest or something. I don't know. I like titty balls. That's funny. Where are you guys when I'm live streaming video games and stuff? I would love comments like this. This would be extremely entertaining in between like getting my ass kicked by Ganondorf or something. I do so many live streams that I wish like people would at least troll me or something, you know? I see some people with like live streams and you know, they got people saying like all kinds of ridiculous stuff in there. But I'm like, how the hell do these people get hundreds of people in here? And I've been streaming for like well over a year. Actually, I've been streaming for like on and off about maybe like 9 years. And I'm lucky if I get like 40 people in my lives, you know? Not that I really care all that much, but I would like to have like some people to bounce ideas off of or like make things a little bit more exciting, you know? Sometimes I'll get like a good crowd out of nowhere, but it's never really consistent. And I try to like make videos and stuff too, and occasionally the videos will blow up, but not like I really want them to, you know? They don't stay blowing up consistently. It's really unfortunate. Then I see people with live streams and they just like loop stuff, and it's like dumb shit too. It's like, I don't know, a person falling asleep and snoring or something, and they're playing Roblox in the background, but they're not really actually even doing anything. They're kind of just there, you know? It's wild to me how much low effort content gets propped up and even promoted by YouTube. Like, I don't get you, YouTube. I really don't get you. Hello? Yeah. Is it? Oh. 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 Yeah. I think this is going to be a quick one today, guys. I don't think this is going to take very long at all. Yeah, or they'll just have like looped videos of them doing literally nothing. And I'm just like, how do you get this many people to subscribe and actually they literally donate to that? And it blows my mind. I'm like, why would you give money to these people? It's crazy to me. Unless it's like fake, unless it's them like subbing to their own channels with like bots or something, which I could see being a thing. Have you ever heard of the dead internet theory? I'm so convinced that dead internet theory is like so real at this point. And it's really unfortunate because that means that there's more bots, there's more fake people online than there are real people. Which means a lot of your audience, a lot of the time if you are making content, is literally just bots that are like cycling through content. Yeah, dead internet theory is so real at this point. Case in point, look at Instagram. Yeah, and also you should look into the Russian internet agency. The Russian internet agency is basically like, they're an agency similar to the CIA that basically collects data on Americans and creates divisive content or makes inflammatory remarks in order to create further divides between Americans, which is insane. And it works. It works. That's the sad part. Like, people really believe that there are people out there that are super inflammatory, super racist, and I mean, there are, don't get me wrong. But someone's like literally making these accounts in order to say these things. And it's different from just like a regular bot, like this guy saying I like Diddy balls, you know, like that's funny, you know. Yeah. It's usually like a really stupid profile picture that's extremely offensive, or just like an edited something dumb, you know. But you should really look into the Russian internet agency. They're crazy. They've been working since as far back as I know, I think like 2012 or 2016 or something like that, to make Americans basically hate each other. And it's worked. Like, I feel like people are more divided than they've ever been, for good reason. I mean, there are reasons to keep your fellow man at an arm's length, you know, but some of these things are just wild to me. Some of these limes are really smooth and easy to peel, and then some other ones are just like super, it's always something inappropriate. Yeah, it's horrible. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my good amount of trolling and whatnot too. I think sometimes it is funny, but you know, like, that's actually how I got a lot of my following on YouTube in the first place, was like Grand Theft Auto trolling videos. That type of thing is funny, you know, like, that's, in my opinion, that's okay to a degree. But then you have people that are like full on trying to like cause people to have mental breakdowns and stuff, and that's wild. And it's not even just mental breakdowns, it's like literally societal breakdowns. Like, Russia wants to see us collapse on the inside, and that's not even like a conspiracy, that's actually real. There's evidence to corroborate that. I don't try to invest myself too much into, like, you know, conspiracy theories and things, but, you know, there's stuff that definitely is going on under our noses in that regard that we don't even realize is happening. Yeah, they need to ban bots, and you know what? Twitch needs to do the same thing too. I'm surprised people haven't like tried to have a class action lawsuit against Twitch for the amount of bots that are on that site. Like, pretty much I've been streaming on Twitch for I think like 4 or 5 years or something like that, on and off, and pretty much 90% of my audience is bots, and that sucks. It makes me not even want to like stream on there anymore. So they're really shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, it's true. I report those bot pages that just farm they farm gifts and stuff and content, ad revenue, all of that. And YouTube sometimes bans their stuff, like very, very rarely do they do it. They do it sometimes, but it's still just not enough because these people are able to make stuff like that and come back and just do the same thing over and over and over again without any kind of repercussion. They just make a new account and they're back to making literally a dozen videos a day of them just sitting at their desk pretending to be asleep, and it's a looped video. There was actually a lawsuit against YouTube some years ago because of YouTube Kids. There was basically a policy they put in place in order to combat some of the issues they were having with the YouTube Kids channels. And what that was they made it so you couldn't actually receive ad revenue if your content basically had no substance whatsoever. And yet, we see, years later, tons and tons of videos of substanceless content, people just literally sitting there doing nothing. And vulnerable, stupid idiots with their wallets wide open will just casually donate to it. It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's why I'm convinced some of the only people that are like probably subscribing or even like donating are probably their own people, you know. How you doing, Lindsay? Just making some juice. Peeling limes, making super juice. It's a long, arduous process, but it's worth it. Yeah, it feels kind of hopeless sometimes, you know? Like, you make content you actually put your heart and soul into, and a lot of time on top of it. And, you know, these people who do these effortless things get hundreds, if not tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views, tons of donations, tons of ad revenue, and like they get to abuse the system, and YouTube doesn't really do much about it. It's pretty messed up. It feels very disheartening. It almost makes you not even want to be a content creator at times. And you're probably saying, like, what content do you create? You're sitting here making lime juice. Well, I do other stuff too. People use AI on the, oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's effortless. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I try to do like live streams of like video games and stuff, and sometimes I'll do other stuff too. I've tried to like really broaden my horizons and do things that are off the beaten path too, you know. Like, I make videos about social shit, but yeah. Well, that's all 36 limes peeled. I think it was 36. No, it's 54. 54 limes peeled. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Just a Girl. Now I'm gonna go get the chemicals, the preservatives that we use to break down these precious lime peels. So, you get your scale. Have to reset it. Actually. I'm also making simple syrup and stuff too on the side, so I'm trying to like multitask kind of, but This is citric acid. And what you do with citric acid, take my cup, reset the measurement. This is always going to be the same amount of citric acid. We're shooting for 38 grams, and that is double 38 grams. 38 grams of citric acid. My scale is acting very odd right now. I'm gonna try it on a different surface. I'll try this again. Very important to get the exact measurement, because if you overdo it, the lime juice will be way too sour. It's actually dangerous to consume too much. It'll strip your tongue completely. People use AI and do nothing but other people and just try and... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, when I make videos, like, sometimes if I don't have, like, a specific song or something in mind, the video editing software I use actually has a built-in like audio generator, and that sort of like uses AI, I think, and I can't use it all the time because I mean there's no reason for me to, first of all, but second of all, it just won't get the vibe right anyways. But that's one thing I do if I really am like desperate to fill the audio for something. I'll have it like gen background music or something like that, but that's pretty much like the only time I ever use anything related to AI for my videos. Like, or maybe color correction, but color correction that's been a thing forever, so that's not really new. That's just generally what computers kind of do, you know. So we're going to mix this up so that the chemical compounds mix together with the oils from the lime peels, and that oil is going to get the citric acid nice and wet, and when it does that, it gives it a little bit of moisture to actually trigger the chemical reactions. While it oxidizes, it's going to cause this to brown, and ultimately it's going to break down some of the more like less flavorful organic materials. It's gonna turn it into something very nice. Yeah, no, definitely though. I try not to use AI really at all. Oh crap. I need this guy again. 6 times 6 is 36. This is 36 grams of the malic acid. And the malic acid has more of like a sweeter sort of sour flavor, whereas citric acid is just sour, you know. Yeah. No, absolutely. We just do our best. We try to like lead by example, you know. Do you make content too? I'm gonna mix these up because. Hey, how's it going, Beckett? Oh, I'm just hanging in there, just making some super juice, chit-chatting with just a girl here. We got done with the most annoying part, which is peeling the limes, so now we're getting into having a slice and juice. But I'm also making like other like syrups and stuff too. Okay, nice to meet you, Skylar. I'm Gijuk, or Deem, whatever you prefer. Alright, so now we have to leave this for an hour. So that chemical reaction will take place. This will start to brown. Then we can move on to the next step. And I just realized the music stopped, so I'm going to put something else on. Where'd my towel go? Oh, towel's right here. Can I have mod? That's scary. That's a very scary request. You understand that, right? Let's give it a little bit more time. Oh, that's nice of you. Let's give it just a little bit more time. Oh, don't be sorry, it's fine. So, I need more water. Okay, now I'm actually in trouble because I don't remember where I started out with this. I think I was like, so I need to go into a little bit more. There we go. Oh no, it's okay. I'm just so used to trolls and stuff on here. It would be a shame to give mod to somebody who's gonna like open the floodgates, No offense. I'm just making an agave syrup here. The agave syrup is nice because it's not like your average syrup. Agave actually helps regulate your insulin levels in your bloodstream, whereas obviously sugar can spike your insulin levels. So agave is kind of safe for even diabetic people, from what I understand. Oh, well, I'll be your friend. I'm sorry to hear that. It's hard to be lonely, There's a lot of people in the world, though. There's no reason to be lonely. You have to make sure you stir this really good, because if all of it just settles at the bottom, you'll have a light syrup on top, and all the really heavy syrup settled to the bottom. So you gotta really mix it in there. And I think someone bent this spoon, so it's not really like stirring properly. There we go. That looks a lot more even. So, that's done. Don't need to mess with that anymore. We do have to leave it out so it cools. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I have known plenty of people in a similar position It's not easy. So, just hang in there. Just do your best. Like I said, there's plenty of people in the world. There's no reason to be lonely. And there's people that care too. That's the biggest thing. Some people struggling with mental health and come across some people that don't really help out with that or make people feel significant because they've got their own problems too. But they just don't know how to handle it. Sweet. This is what our final juice will look like. Something like that. So we're just gonna, this was just made the other day, and because there's so much preservative in it, it's actually okay to keep for, I believe, up to 3 weeks. Some people keep it longer. I don't like to keep it past even 2 weeks. So that's usually my thing. But this was just literally made like 2 days ago, so. Try to tell my friends I struggle with mental health. What is SH? What is SH? Oh, harassment? That's horrible. Yeah, if you have a friend that you can't go to about that kind of thing, I hate to say it, they're not a very good friend. A good friend will have your back all the time. You know what I mean? And I've seen it time and time again. People, like, even when I was going through stuff, my really good friends were always there for me. They were basically there for me more often than my family even were. And that's really saying something. Like, I've got good family and everything, but even they didn't know how to handle stuff sometimes. So, when your family fails you, your friends should be there for you. You know what I mean? And if they're not, I hate to say it, they're just not a good friend. Once you find somebody that you really deem a good friend and you see like how you're supposed to be treated, good friend, good relationship, family, whatever, it doesn't matter. You realize just like how sacred that sort of thing is. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Hello? A program just called to save the water, and they used an AI voice. Now, if that's not ironic, I don't know what is. That's crazy. That is so silly. 4 years, and they helped me out a lot because they struggle with the same thing as me. My parents found out we can't be friends. What? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Why wouldn't your parents want you to be friends with this person? Like, what is really the harm in having a friend that goes through something similar that you do? Are they like afraid of that person or something? Like, I don't understand. That's stupid. I mean, I've had my parents tell me I couldn't be friends with certain people anymore either. But you know what happened? I just kept hanging out with them anyways. Your parents can't choose who you decide to have in your life at the end of the day. I mean, maybe if that person was like genuinely unsafe, I would probably agree with them, but yeah, I don't know. That's ridiculous. What's wrong with this? What the hell? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like they do something good for you, then I would stay friends with them. But if they are genuinely like unsafe or something, or they're not really a good friend, then I would consider looking elsewhere. Especially if it's like causing a rift between your parents and you. Yeah, it's kind of a hard place to be. Don't need this anymore. Oh, you think it's her mom? That's unfortunate. I mean, can't really do much to change their mind at the end of the day. If you guys still want to be friends, you should definitely still be friends. But don't let other people make your mistakes for you. You know what I mean? You have to learn by making your own mistakes. If they aren't like a good person to have in your life, sometimes you need to learn that the hard way. I learned that with many ex-girlfriends in the past, and sometimes friends too. Occasionally friends, but most of the time I've had pretty good judgment about who I spend my time with. I've been fortunate in that way. Not everybody is fortunate. Sometimes people make some really dire mistakes, and there's not a whole lot coming back from that. Like, if someone's dangerous, definitely stay away from them. Or if they're just, like, not really doing much for your mental health. Like, if someone's making your situation worse, yeah, don't even bother. Found a letter in the trash can. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Oh, that's what you meant. I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of just need to prove your worth too, right? Like, if you're gonna be friends with somebody, it's kind of up to you to prove that you're also good for that person, mentally, and like, yeah, just mostly mentally. I wouldn't say physically so much, because hopefully friends aren't getting too physical with each other. I mean, I guess there is a good way to be physical with a friend, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make this conversation weird. I'm cutting some limes. Oh, a safety pin necklace? That's sweet. If you really like your friend a lot, I would say try to prove to that person's mom that, you're actually a good influence, because That's really what it's all about at the end of the day. They just want to make sure that their kid is like hanging out with good company, right? Like parents are assholes sometimes, but it's only because they're concerned. It's only because they care. So they have the best intention, usually, I hope, in mind for their child. Sometimes they don't. But I think that's pretty rare that a parent doesn't give a crap about their kid. So, you know, try to understand it from their perspective too. And like I said, just try to show them that you are a good example of what it's like to be a friend to somebody, right? And if not even just a friend, just a good example of what a person is in the world. You don't have to strive for perfection either. Just, just show that you have a good heart. You have a good heart and you don't care to harm anybody. That's what it's all about. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh wow, they body shame you? Yeah, that's trash. I hate to say it. I'm not trying to talk about your parents like that, but that's kind of fucked up. I would never body shame my child. Just because I've seen what female body standards, like how that sort of idea has hurt so many people in the past, people that are close to me. I've seen like what's the word, eating disorders and things in a lot of different people I know. The eating disorder thing is like I've seen people almost die from it. It affects your mental health on levels that people don't even understand a lot of the time. Just the eating disorder part of it, but also the body dysmorphia and things like that. Even when someone does to somebody else look completely fine, this person is never convinced that they look okay, and that's horrible. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, that's not a good way to play around with somebody. That's like instilling serious, like I said, body dysmorphia or self-image issues into a child. That's horrible. That's like one of the worst things you could ever do. And the fact that, like I was saying earlier, someone who's also dealing with something like your dad, right? Um, they don't know how to handle their own problems, and so they they project them onto other people. In this case, that's you, unfortunately, and your brother. I could never dream of harming my child like that. That's so messed up. Yeah, just be careful, like don't make it to a point where you're not eating enough, you know what I mean? That's really easy to do. It's really, really easy to do. And sometimes the consequences of not sustaining your body with nutrition enough are more dire in the long run. You'll either actually die, right? Or you could become seriously ill with something, maybe you can't reverse. You know, people have in the past, they're like throwing up to try and lose weight and stuff. That could deteriorate your esophagus, messes up your cells, messes up your brain. You start having seizures. There's all kinds of detrimental things that happen to your body because of that type of thing. Trust me, I know all too well what it's like to grow up in a household like that. So you're not alone. But what I can say is today I'm still here all these years later and I'm doing great. You know, I'm not doing the best, but I'm doing a lot better than I could have been in the past and that I have done. You know, it just takes some time. I would consider maybe talking about um, like an outlet of some kind, maybe some type of family therapy where you all get together and sit down and talk in a safe space about this kind of thing. Yeah. And that's exactly what happens. You know, the children, they isolate or they move away from their parents because they can't handle it anymore. There's no reason for you to be around. And then there's the flip side to that too. Then the parents will start to guilt trip the child for not coming around anymore. And it's like, well, why would I want to be around you guys? You treat me like crap, right? That's very much a reality. I've seen that many times before. So, you know, if it comes down to that point, things don't get better, and you decide you don't want to talk to them anymore, you don't have to. That's that's all it comes down to. And I hope to God that you can remove yourself from that situation as soon as possible, because that will make or break you. Absolutely. That's messed up. It sounds like you're the family punching bag, and if you're the youngest one, I've seen that happen in other families before too. That's not right. And like I said, you know, if it gets to a point like that, I would even consider emancipation. Emancipation is a real thing. You can talk to somebody about removing yourself um, from their care and get put into a safer situation because of the mental trauma you're experiencing. And I'm not kidding. I really suggest, if you really don't think you can handle it much longer, I would talk to CPS. I would talk to Child Protective Services. I would talk about maybe getting emancipated and removing yourself from the situation before, like I said, it makes or breaks you. And I wouldn't just like give that information. I wouldn't give that suggestion to anybody, but from what you've told me, that sounds just unacceptable. That's very wrong, and you shouldn't have to deal with that. And I'm very sorry that you do have to deal with that. But at the same time, you don't have to deal with it. You have the power to move on to brighter pastures, you know. And I would do it. I would absolutely consider it. If it's getting to that point, look into emancipation or talking to Child Protective Services, because the way they're tormenting you and using you as the punching bag is not right. That's all it comes down to. I wouldn't give that. Hey, how's it going? Sabuza? Sabuz Ahmed? Is that how you say it? I'm doing excellent. I hope you're doing great too. That's a pretty cool name. Sabuz. Did I say it right? Sabuz? I mean, you can say like whatever it is. It's abuse. It is. Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
It's definitely abuse. Oh, that's horrible.
Where?
It's time to get juicing. I don't know if I should mute this part because it's like super loud. My dad even lied to me. Not doing. Yeah, and I mean, yelling doesn't fix the problem, really. It doesn't prevent it from happening in the future. That's one thing, but also the damage is already kind of done, you know. That's what I was saying. Like maybe talk to your parents or something about going to a family counselor of some kind, or literally just looking to emancipate yourself from them, because that situation does not in the slightest bit sound healthy. It's the biggest strainer in the entire world. It is absolutely massive. This thing is a beast. This thing is a beast. This thing is a beast. And for good measure, I do a double strain. It's kind of like a cheesecloth within a strainer, so extra protection. This is the one time double protection actually does work. Yeah, if your sister is like on the outside, see if you can live with her or something. And I'm sure it wouldn't be easy, but if you're old enough to like hold down a job too, you can work with your sister and you can help pay rent or groceries, whatever you need to pay for. I would seriously consider it. If you have it, I would talk to your sister for sure. And maybe don't like throw the idea out there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move in with her immediately. Just talk to her about it and say like, hey, you know, like things aren't going great here, and I know you left because you didn't have a great time either, and I'm sure your sister, if she cares about you, is not going to want you to live through that situation either. You know what I mean? I would be like 100% honest with your sister and tell her like the situation, like the point that it's getting to for you mentally. Because if it's getting that bad, she's gonna understand. I promise you, she'll understand. If she's got a heart, she's got a soul, she'll get it. You know what I mean? Sorry, it's gonna get loud for a sec. Now we're juicing. You don't have to wear a glove, but I like to wear a glove. Happy Monday. How we doing, Chris? I'm doing great. I'm just juicing some limes. Juicing some limes, and we're talking about familial abuse. We're talking about situations people shouldn't have to tolerate. What's going on in your world, Chris? Yeah, I'm sure she would totally understand you not wanting you not wanting her to tell the family. I'm sure she would totally understand that, and she would probably respect that. I don't see why she wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Strawberry syrup on the floor, right?
On the floor? Oh no, I didn't. That's gonna be fun. I don't know how to make that. I didn't cheat on my wife. Yeah. No, if you have family members that have been through it before, then it's gonna be a lot easier to explain the situation. I'm sure you don't have to do much explaining at all. But I would really like consider, like I said, look into maybe finding a way that you can move in together and emancipate yourself from your parents if it's that bad. These limes are really hard, so this kind of sucks. Ugh. Yeah, unfortunately, therapists are super expensive, and I don't want to say they don't work, but a lot of the times, from what I've heard and what I've seen, they do only a very little bit. I mean, they only help externalize things that you've had on your mind, you know what I mean? There you go. At least you have one person you can rely on, which is your sister, and that's more than some can even say. So I would be very happy about that, you know. Not saying it's the ideal situation. Do you guys ever think like an alien would watch a live stream? Yeah. Seriously, like I said, that's more than some people can even say. Some people don't even have one person. What's up? What is your question? Oh, you were saying my question was random. Yeah. If they do exist, I wonder if they watch any of the live streams, you know? And they're just staying quiet in the chat. They're probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? To think that we're like the only beings in the universe is so ridiculous. I just can't believe that. And I've seen some weird stuff too. Wow, these limes are garbage. These limes have so little juice, it's insane. Jeez. Not gonna lie to you folks, this is ass. You really don't have to push that hard usually, but these ones are just so like rock hard almost. You can't even get to the bottom of it. Oh, these limes suck. I actually don't. What is a safety pin necklace? Dude, my wrist feels like it's about to snap in half. It's a necklace that promises not to. Oh, damn. That's intense. And your friend made you one of those? See, to me, that sounds like a good friend, actually. That's very sweet. Wow. My hand slipped. It hit the grinder. Oh my god. Oh, we're almost done. It's not really saying much because doing like even just a few of these limes is the equivalent of juicing like 12 of them in terms of how much effort goes into it. Oh, do you guys live far away from each other? That sucks. That really sucks. hate having a friend you can't see. Oh, damn. Yeah, Colorado's pretty far from me. Here, it's a nice place to live, though. Alright, the last slime, thank God. That was rough. I feel like I'm gonna get a hand cramp now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call Deanna because I don't know if that's an old thing that got put up there or if it's new.
I think it's the cordial, not the
Yeah.
syrup. They say we wrote syrup, but it's cordial.
Oh, okay. And I do see some bottles in there. I just don't know if that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm confused about. One of them isn't even labeled, so that's why I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit her up, find out. Alright. Unfortunately, I have to end my live relatively early because I have to do some stuff, but it was nice talking to you all. Hope you have a good one.